Here we are again. Gonna tell you another story on my walk. I know that's such a draw. Everybody is still watching and gathering, going, what's you gonna say? As opposed to clicking off because I'm boring in my intro. Oh well, it is what it is. I still think YouTube hates me anyways. But I had a story in mind, but then I think that would be too short. Let's see. When I got out of the Navy, I got out early. They offered me an early out, and I took it because, like I've said before, I was the last person you'd think would join the military. And so in the military, you get your reviews, and they have a series of things that they review you on, work performance, that kind of stuff. But there's two in there that you don't get in other jobs, and that's military demeanor and military appearance. Obviously, appearance is how you wear your uniform and present yourself, and demeanor is just all the other military stuff. My ratings on those were the lowest. Appearance was lower than demeanor, but everything else was extremely high. But because of my military demeanor and appearance being so low, I wasn't going to get transferred out of NAS Lemoore. And I really didn't want to feel like being there for the rest of my enlistment. Because if you've been to the middle of California, there's nothing there. No offense to people that live there, but you know it's true. Especially in the early 90s. So when they gave me the opportunity, since they canceled my orders to Guam, I took it and got out. It's a medical discharge, honorable. So it was fine. So I had a friend that had just recently got out as well, and he lived in Portland. So I went and rented space in their basement because part of the reason I joined the military was to get out of home, so I wasn't living at home anymore. So I wasn't about to go back to living at home. Plus, Portland sounded like a nice place to go. Okay, camera right and right. And so I found myself in my early 20s in a city I didn't know anything about, living in the basement of a friend's family. I got along with the family, which was nice. And one of his other friends moved in with us. And so there's three of us sharing this large basement space. That was fun, actually. It was better when I had my own space, when things shifted around, but I still liked them, and so it wasn't a problem. So while I was there, they like to go out on the weekends, and I didn't drink, so I was the perfect driver. Plus I had a car. And so we'd go out a lot. Mondays we'd go see a movie because the local theater had really cheap seats to get in. So we'd go see a movie on Mondays. And then Friday and Saturdays we'd go dancing. They liked going to concerts, so we went to a lot of concerts, which was nice because I got to see the last Oingo Boingo tour, and that was when 311 was opening for them. And it was a loft space in downtown Portland. It was over 100 that day, and this loft space had no air conditioning. So we were up there, all the windows were open. It was fun, and that was the first time I learned, but not the last, that I would always end up being a wall. For whatever reason, wherever I was standing in a concert, the mosh pit would start directly in front of me. The space would open up and I would just be a wall. Which wasn't bad because I like shoving people back into the mosh pit when they came my direction. However, one of my friends would get in there, bounce around, and when it started to get too much for him, he'd run and get behind me, which I thought was funny. But that was when I learned that I liked to dance. I mean, really liked to dance. And wasn't going to let other people dictate whether I could or not. So I just got in the habit of showing up, getting a water or a soda, and then going on the dance floor. Usually when there's no one else out there, or maybe 2 or 3 people out there. It worked for me. Most of the time, after a period of time, I would pay attention to what's going on around me as opposed to dancing. And I'd just be surrounded by girls. Because apparently, confidence attracts people. Who would have thunk it? But if you know anything about me, I'm oblivious. So I may have noticed that, but I didn't do anything about it because, you know, they just wanted to dance around the confident guy. They didn't want to actually be involved with him or get to know him or anything like that. No, why would they do that? So, but doing things by myself, thankfully, has never really bothered me. Going out to dinner, going to the movies, living alone. I mean, yes, obviously, I would like intimacy in my life. That's the one thing I miss. But the other things I miss is having someone that wants to sit down and tell me what's going on in a video game and let me make decisions so I could pseudo play a video game. I had a friend that we were doing that with, but life changed and now it's more complicated to do that. Got to play all of the early access early on for Baldur's Gate 3. Like, we did that like 3 or 4 times and played all of Pokemon Sword, I believe it was, the one we had, and the expansions. And that was a lot of fun. It drove my friend crazy sometimes because, Cameron, come on. Why are you pooping? How? He's already gone poop today. I wonder why he's pooping now. I don't think I've ever done this with gloves on. Let me see if I can do this. I know, this is real exciting for you, huh? I don't even know if you actually did poop. We'll find out here in a second. Well, actually, I think I'll end it there. So get my newsletter. The link will be below. Thanks. Love and peace.